so here we are at Pierre Hedary's shop.
Well, Joe, you're back.
It's great to be here. Thanks, Pierre.
Yeah, well, apparently we have a running car. Describe your reaction when I sent you the video. Right now we're going through the checklist before starting, so we actually primed the injection pump and it wanted to deliver gas out of all 5 cylinders, yes. So 6 cylinders, so we're used to waking up old diesels. So we're gonna see if the car actually wants to start.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it should be okay. So this is the beginning of the adventure, right? We're going to determine if there was a major issue that led to Joe parking this thing or not. You don't have to give it any gas, just start it. Yeah, I'm ready. Wow. Sounds good. I don't see any leaks. Starting for the first time.
Well, honestly, you know, I was surprised to get the video, and when I got it, it started like right up, and I was surprised. I kind of thought you were juking me a little bit. I really thought that you started it, got it going right, set it right, stopped that, and then you started and shot a video of it. It sounds like it's really running good.
Yeah, unfortunately, one of the things you don't realize about the shop is everything here is down to the wire. I don't know. I wouldn't have had time.
Oh.
I wouldn't have had time to fool you. There's just not enough time to do that. My reaction was probably a lot like yours, where, you know, first of all, like some background if you haven't seen my last video with Joe. Joe's car has been parked since the early 90s. It's a 280 SE, so we already have 3 things working against us. Time, unknown mystery problem.
Don't know what it was.
And we have a gasoline car because they don't tend to do as well as diesel cars. If it was a diesel, I would have just started it and said, okay, it runs, just what I was expecting. But a mechanically fuel-injected Mercedes from the early 70s or late 60s is a different story. Now, I've heard of this happening before. My friend Keith Morgan, who doesn't watch my channel because he's got too many cars to maintain, had this happen with the 1967 300 SEL in Michigan that he bought. And he put a gas tank and a fuel pump in it and crossed his fingers, and sure enough, the car started, and it actually did run quite well.
Wow.
Enough to air up its air suspension at least, which is another miracle that it aired up. But in your case, I wasn't expecting it because we didn't know why the car was parked.
Right.
So,
right.
How did you feel actually seeing it start in the flesh?
You know, it sounds even better in person.
Right,
and let's back up a little bit on this.
By the way, the car not only started and ran, it ran extremely well, which... Okay, continue.
Right. So when I brought the car to you, I didn't know what the problem was. The fellow that owned it before me was a mechanic, so you think that anything was wrong, he'd be able to repair. But bringing the car to you, I trusted you to tell me what was wrong. So had it not worked and you pulled the engine out and I needed to pay for a rebuilt engine, I was completely prepared to do that. Pleasant surprise. I think we're going to come in a little bit under budget because the car seems to run fine as far as the engine part. But we don't know what else we're going to run into.
Well, I know what I ran into in the interim.
Oh.
I'm surmising or speculating that the reason that the car was parked was for something that I've never quite seen before, which is a cracked radiator. And so this is where things get really amusing. This car has a metal radiator. Now, normally when you talk about Mercedes and cracked radiators, people think, oh, 80s or later Mercedes plastic radiator tank, radiator cracks, no big deal. But guys, this is a W108. Plastic was forbidden in any kind of application that required extreme stress. Okay. It was all metal. And so this car has a brass radiator, upper and lower tank. Well, the upper tank on Joe's radiator was cracked, and it wasn't one singular crack. It was a multifaceted crack, which, you know, I have your old radiator. I'm going to show it to you at some point. But the crack had actually been so extensive that when I looked at it, I said, there's no way that we're going to be able to repair this and be able to depend on it 100%.
Okay.
So I started looking. I got part numbers from Mercedes because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to get this radiator anymore, you know, and I thought about it. I said, I have two solutions. I can either look for a new old stock radiator, or I could try to find a rebuilder and get this one rebuilt, or well, get it record. I have a good radiator guy. He just takes months to accomplish his tasks, but you know, I said I'm going to be able to do something here, I'm sure. So I found there's this guy I deal with in Greece that has a lot of weird Mercedes parts, and you know, of all stupid things, I checked his eBay store and he had a new old stock radiator, and so, you know, we worked at a price for it because there was a little ding in the top tank. I don't know if you saw that, but it's not bad enough to warrant any action. And I bought this radiator and put it in, and so then I was like, well, what's going to happen? You know, now I still haven't talked about my reaction to its entirety about the car actually starting. I would call it any ropes when I'm on the cliff with a gas engine Mercedes. Nothing is ever easy or straightforward. If something can go wrong, it has gone wrong, and now I have to fix it. So, you know, a lot of these things, these gas engine Mercedes are like little babies. The owners are always calling me, "What's wrong? Oh, I need help with this. Oh, the car's not running right." You know, I can think of one customer that I got rid of that flooded his car and then proceeded to berate me to the point where I told him to get lost. You know, forfeiting actually part of my bill because he wasn't smart enough to know not to flood the car. But that's how delicate and finicky gas engine Mercedes are. They can be just very delicate and very finicky. And in this case, the fact that your car started instantly after we observed, sort of like a pre-flight checklist, after we observed the pre-starting checklist, check for fuel delivery to all 6 injectors, you know, make sure there's no rust left in any fuel lines, make sure that that we have good spark, working ignition, all of our fluids are full. And as simple as that, like somebody parked the car 30 minutes ago and we were in a parking lot starting the car, it started instantly.
Amazing. I
was like, Lord, what is going on with this car? Like, it was just, it wasn't even, well, you saw it in the video, it was vroom! You know, like it was just ready to go. And I'm telling you, it doesn't happen, but this tells you two things. First of all, in 1970, Mercedes is making stuff better than they are today, even for their older cars. If you think about it, you have 6 injectors. So today, if I go buy a new injector, one out of those 6, a set of injectors or 6 injectors, one out of those 6 is going to fail within the next year. These injectors have been sitting since 1993 with old gas in them, or God knows what else, and they work great. Yeah. Stupid, ridiculous, crazy. I don't know what kind of words you want to apply. But anyway, now we're pulling your back axle out, so we can, you know, we can talk about that a little bit after we're done. You know, that's probably going to take us till Wednesday. But anyway, Joe, do you have any closing comments about your experience? Don't embellish me or my work. I'm just talking strictly focusing on the car. What do you think so far of what is your impression up to this point?
Well, you know, Pierre, I really don't know what I don't know, and there's a lot of things about the mechanics of the car that I don't know.
Me too.
I want to be able to make sure that I can come to an individual that I can completely trust and that things are done right. There always seems to be enough time to do things over, but there never seems to be enough time to do things right the first time. And I'm trusting you and the guys in your shop to take care of that, and that's really why I'm here. Yeah,
well, that's why it took us up till last Friday to get it started, because we were working so carefully.
But it worked.
It did work.
It worked.
All that Marvel mystery oil we dumped down the cylinders, you know, must have done the trick.
That's it.
Anyway. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Tap the bell for notifications. If you're a Patreon supporter, we really appreciate you, and we're always here to answer your questions. And even if you're not, we're still here to help you with your classic Mercedes, because I don't mind helping people. It's a good thing. In the meantime, you know, keep checking this channel if you want to see progress on the Kenji Benz, the 280 SE that's been sitting since 1993, that we are waking up slowly. And so now we have a running car. We probably have a working transmission. We're going to make sure that we have a fully rebushed rear axle. Cut.